Russo Italiano sponsors Boxing Bros UK.
It's showtime!
His, the boss, Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew, the Boxing Brain.
Bosh.
Today's topic is the war, the Cockney versus the Scouser, the war that they had. Smith and Joshua Buatsi. Whoa. This was the fight of the night for me. This was the fight of the night because I just want to say, hands up, got it totally wrong.
Oh, mate, I'll wait till you let me in. Yeah.
Wrong. And I'd like to apologise for insulting Callum Smith because we forgot he was an ex-world champion, and he was a very, very, very good fighter. A bit like, like Carl Froch. Yeah, he was a great world champion. Andre Ward was elite, and he was a good world champion, good fighter, and then you've got your elite fighters. So Callum Smith was a good world champion, great fighter, but he wasn't quite elite, but he was just below elite level. So of course he's going to be able to beat a prospect, not a prospect, a contender. He's trying it, of course, and but he did have to go to the well though. He did have to go to the well, though. He had to go to the well because Buatsi didn't take it lying down. He didn't take it. But right, I'll let you start. Let's go through the fight before we get into all the what's going on.
Yeah, just to mirror your sentiments. Look, and I very much doubt, Callum Smith would be watching this. We might catch one of our shorts. You never know. It's a small community out there, the boxing. And I guess what I want to say is, it certainly wasn't any disrespect intended. I think we sort of said that, he's been a great fighter at super middleweight and light heavyweight. We were just questioning what he had left. What did he have left? Obviously, since the Beterbiev loss, he fought an eight-rounder, I think, against Galvan. Not been overly active. Looked in terrific shape, looked confident, calm, collected, been there, done it, been in there against Canelo, been in there against top guys, two weights, and was obviously quietly confident. And it turns out he did have a fair bit left. I'm not sure how much he's got left after this fight. I'm not sure how much. They've both taken about 10 years off their life, I think, after that fight. I mean,
you don't fights like that too often, do you?
Where do we start? I mean, first of all, I mean, a bit like Gladiator, one of my favourite movies. Are you not entertained? I mean, Jesus Christ!
Oh, right.
The durability.
That should have been co-main event.
The only problem was, and I'll nick this line off Proper Boxing I watched earlier. The only problem was, what a shame to have, and I didn't like this coming on first. They should have had Shakur Stevenson, Josh Padley, and then Shiraz on second. And because it's a fucking shame it was on at like fucking 9 a.m. or whatever. It was on so early. It was just a shame there weren't maybe more eyes on it live, because one of the best fights I've seen, right up there, is one of the best fights I've seen in the last few years. Yeah. And I've heard one of the other things I'd like to say is, fucking hell, Buatsi, he's got a chin on him, hasn't he? I don't know how I don't know. The guy just does not go down. I don't know how he was standing up. And when he was gone, and then Smith was punching himself out a bit, Buatsi caught him with a massive, I can't remember if it was a left hook or a straight right, I can't remember. Caught him with a massive shot. Smith goes staggering back. I'm thinking, oh, God, I was like on my feet. I was like, what's going on? He's all over. I'm thinking that Smith's going to be taken out. He's punched himself out. Then he recovers. And I remember, you got to be started now. Virgil Hunter in the corner, and he was trying to use a bit of psychology. Josh, look over there. Look, he's breathing heavy. He's gone. He's fading. Well, turns out Callum Smith weren't fading. He had about 3-second wins. Fucking hell. I'll let you come back in, because I was so entertained.
It just ebbed and flowed. And my only problem was, I don't know what was going on with Buatsi, but it was it was closing the distance, and then he weren't throwing his hands. It was just like standing there and tucking up. Did you notice that? He was closing it down.
A little bit.
He was standing there, and it's like, you've closed the distance down, let your hands go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that kind of, and he was only really letting his hand, it's like he was closing the distance, and then he was waiting for Callum Smith to throw, and then he threw. I go, you go, I go, you go. He was doing that kind of thing.
Was like that. Yeah. He wasn't dictating enough. And Virgil Hunter was saying to him, I can't remember some of the bits he was saying to me in the corner, but he was sort of saying to him, why are you letting him dictate? Where's the jab gone? Go to the body more. Yeah. And he just wasn't really. What is Buatsi, Chris? And we've all said this about him. He's a talented guy. He'll come again. He switches off. He switches off a lot. I know fighters do, right? Dave Colwell talks about this a lot. You're going to switch off, especially when you got a high, because when they come out, when that first bell went, they met in the centre of the ring, right up close, working each other on the inside, and it never really went up throughout the whole of the 12 rounds. I mean, they're cardio and conditioning, but I think Buatsi just, sometimes I look at him in rounds and in the corner he looks a bit, I don't know if it's dejected or he looked a bit nonplussed or he's obviously in a war. Virgil Hunter's trying to get him going. He was valiant till the end, but I mean, I don't know what to say on that really.
Maybe he got hurt because sometimes, like, you can, in a fight, you can get concussed, you can get hurt, and you just kind of fight on instinct. Like your brain saying throw your hands, and you can't, and you're just like, so where he's got a good chin, he's just like there, like leading there, and then right, I'll throw. Like he really has to get himself up to throw his hands, because I don't know why I was doing that, closing the distance, and then not throwing your hands, letting Callum tee off on you, then you fire back at him, like good on you, like good, like it was such an entertaining fight, really, really, really great fight, and I'm so glad. Well, I feel sad for Buatsi because he like he was doing well, he had a good run, and now back to the drawing board. But I think he's 33, but this is the perfect time now for him to take the yard fight. This is so as I was saying, this is the time now that he's got to take the yard fight. The only thing is, it's in May, so that means he's only going to fight twice this year, because they'll have to have that fight like at the back end of the summer, like end of August, September, October time, and then that's if Yard wants to fight so soon. But he fucking should do, because that's his problem, inactivity. And he keeps saying he wants to be active, so make that fight. That's what that's the only fight for Joshua Buatsi next. Yard fight. That's it.
I'd quite like to see Callum Smith versus Yard, actually. I think that would be a barnstormer. The only other one I'm trying to think, like, for Buatsi now, like he might want a little rebuilder, but I mean, who else you got out there? Obviously, Lyndon Arthur. David Morrell, would he be ready? Is he ready? I mean, he's fought Callum Smith, who's just below world level. David Morrell coming off the loss.
Yeah, they're both coming off. That's a good fight. That's a really good fight.
I think David Morrell would win that. I honestly think David Morrell. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
he's got.
I don't know why. I don't think there's much between them, but I think David Morrell might beat Buatsi, so that might be a bit of a risk. I mean, Willie Hutchinson rematch.
No,
that was a really good fight.
It was a good fight.
I mean,
step back for a minute,
Yeah, I don't really know. Buatsi, I think what they're going to try and do is what Ben Shalom, he's like. I'm sure they're going to maybe give him a. The winner of Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron.
Yeah, that's a step down though. Really, I think.
It is, yeah. I mean, he's him and Callum Smith, like you said earlier. I mean, they're on just that periphery of world level, Yeah. I mean, Callum Smith Benavidez would be a terrific fight. That would be a terrific. I don't know if that'd get made.
No,
but that would
I
be
was going to say that for Callum Smith. That'd be a great fight for Benavidez because he's fighting an ex world champion, really good, and that'll be a good fight for Callum Smith if he wants to fight. If he wants to try his luck against Bivol.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's got more of a chance against Bivol than he does against because Beterbiev was just too strong for him, too powerful. He's still going to lose, but he's got a better of a chance because he's not going to get knocked out.
Yeah. I don't see him beating Bivol, obviously, but yeah, I mean it's kind of an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I guess there is the Buatsi rematch, of course. I mean, it was a great fight. I would watch that again.
Was a rematch clause in there?
I haven't looked into it. Perhaps there was. I mean, doesn't seem to be much clamour for it, but I mean, why not? I mean, that was a terrific. Do they want to run that back again? I'd like to see it. Buatsi could. The thing is, as well, with that one, with a potential Smith rematch, Buatsi can make a load of adjustments with Virgil Hunter. There's loads of stuff he can work on. Callum Smith, I think, that was pretty much at 34. That's about as good a version as you're going to see of Callum Smith. I think Buatsi can improve a fair bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So that rematch, maybe take some time out. That rematch could be a good option for Buatsi if he wants it. I think he did. He might have underestimated Callum Smith's power a bit. I don't know how many rounds of sparring they've done over the years, but I don't know. It certainly looked like the exchange, the power punches were kind of were in Callum Smith's court, shall we say?
But he's always been he's always had decent power. Sorry, he's always had decent power, but not like devastating power. You know, he's not like who's that guy at light heavyweight? Oh, what's he called? The one that ducked Kovalev for years. Oh, what's he called? He used to call himself Superman.
Oh,
you know, and he knocked out Tony Bellew while he stopped him on his feet. You know what I'm on about?
Oh, Malanga.
No, not Malanga. The other one. What's he called? And he got put in hospital. He got knocked out really bad and got put in hospital.
Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was a terrible end to his career, wasn't it? Like, because he was an absolute monster.
He was a ferocious puncher. He was a ferocious puncher, and I don't think Buatsi's never been like that. So he kind of has to let his hands go, which a lot of times he doesn't do. Sometimes, and today, that night, it let him down like that. What that style? Like he's with Virgil Hunter, who's a defensive kind of coach. Like, obviously, Andre Ward, and when he was with Amir Khan, like, he teaches them spoiling tactics and tightens them up so they try not to get hit as much. Well, you've got to let your hands go, though. You can't fall in the trap.
I'm surprised that I don't get me wrong, for a neutral, like for a fan, I mean, watching that fight, but I'm surprised from the bell Buatsi was willing, because you just feel like Buatsi can punch a bit, but I think that the natural size and power is with Callum Smith. I'm surprised he kind of met him in the centre of the ring and was willing to kind of fight on the inside so early. I thought, I don't know, I wondered when I was watching it, you know, because Buatsi's had a lot of bad press in the boxing media world for quite a few years. Bit boring, going 12 rounds with fighters, not a great finisher. I wonder whether that got to him a little bit, like what we're maybe seeing with Ben Whittaker, you know, a little bit. And maybe where he felt like, do you know what, I need to start entertaining, you know, the Willie Hutchinson fight he got, Big Plaudit's fight. I just wonder whether he got in there with Smith, and I don't know if the game plan was to do that, but it surprised me a little bit that he was willing, because I know we didn't talk about it in the preview, but I just felt like Buatsi kind of trading on the inside with Smith. I just felt like Smith would have the edge with that. Yeah. So I was a little bit surprised with that, if you see where I'm going with it. I thought he might try and get him on the end of his jab more, you know, use his Olympic pedigree, Olympic bronze medalist, good amateur. try and box him a bit but straight from the off, it was like they just met and that was it.
And he did it. And then once you get into that trap, it's kind of like when you've been tagged a few too many times in the round, you've got to try and get your get back, or you just take that round as a loss. And if you're going to take the risk, try and get your get back, you can get got yourself. Yeah, that's what happened.
He tried though. He tried. Yeah. I tell you, no, take nothing away from him. Like his stock hasn't fallen too much. Like he gave it his all in there. There are adjustments he can make, but he gave it his all in there. But I was really pleased with Smith. I'll tell you what, Eddie Hearn had a good night, didn't he? Eddie Hearn had a good night.
I bet he was thinking, I'm back. I am back. That's what he was thinking.
There's a moment, I think I sent you the video where Bivol was spewing. He looks absolutely over the moon. It's like his son's just like passed his driving test. Yes. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, but he's just been, because he's been having a terrible time, Eddie Hearn, and now he's had and especially a win over Ben Shalom as well. Get in there, my son.
Always helps. I'll tell you what, Ben Shalom's stable's looking worse and worse by the week, isn't it?
No. Oh, let's just hope Lyndon Arthur doesn't beat doesn't beat Yard, eh? Because he's beaten before.
Yeah. Well, I think that's his last fight with Boxer, isn't it? Because he's going back over to Queensbury Yard, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
So if he's going back over to Queensbury, he's lost Yard, who's a big name.
On the other side.
Junior probably fucked off. I think Martin Bacoli has only got one or two more fights with Ben Shalom, so I believe, right? Ben Whittaker loses, right? That's his kind of cash cow gone. Buatsi's lost to Smith. It's looking a bit disastrous for old Ben Big Shalom, isn't it, Chris? Looking a bit disastrous.
But
Fraser Clark. He's finished. He's finished, mate. He's
the stable's on the decline. But
Fraser Clark fighting Ebenezer Tete, and he's about 62.
Yeah, but he needs a rebuild though. But when you're having rebuilds, when you're like 35, 36, and you think you're going to be challenging for world titles, it's not really the best. But getting back to Buatsi, I think if they have the rematch, I think he can make more adjustments than Callum Smith. I think Callum Smith just had to war it out, and where he's just more experienced, had the more power, and obviously Callum, all them Smith boys, they love fighting on the inside. The whole family, they love it. They all
Liam Smith, yeah. I think I'll tell you what. Buatsi needs to. This is an easy point to make, but he needs to have really taken a leaf out of watching Bivol against Peterbiev, right?
Yeah.
None of us. I said in on my preview that Bivol's got to do what he did in the first fight, but a lot more of it, and he did just that. I think Buatsi's got to take a leaf out of Bivol's, but come in super shape, ready to go 12 rounds. And not switch off for any rounds, be on it for as many of those rounds as possible. Keep his volume of punching up. Really work on his cardio, and that's what he's got to do to beat Smith. I don't think he's can knock him out in a potential rematch, but he's got to be able to outland him, outpoint him, and try and move around a bit more. And I think he can do that. He can do that.
It's really bad, man, because he just you can't really blame the coach, because people always try and blame the coach, but when the fighters don't listen to their coach, because Virgil Hunter was giving good instructions, don't let him dictate the pace, you need to let your hands go, and he just wasn't really doing it. So, because I was just thinking maybe he needs like a bit more of an offensive coach, but the only person I could think of who would be a good coach for him to go with, but I think
Don Charles.
Fucking Don Charles. No.
He's offensive.
No, do you know Freddie Roach?
Freddie Roach?
Well, I think I don't know if he's coaching anymore, and his Parkinson's is like really, really, really bad now, because I know it was like bad before. So, but he would be a great coach for Buatsi, just to get him a bit more offensive, letting him hands go. No, because Freddie Roach, all his fighters is all about attacking. Attack. Like,
Yeah, Ben Davidson, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
but Ben Davidson's more of an
Technical.
analyst. So what your strengths are, he focuses on them. Like, but Freddie Roach is more of best attack is offense kind of thing. Like if you think about Pacquiao and when he had Amir Khan and other fighters, it's always been let's let them hands go. And I think Buatsi, that's what he needs in his bow. He needs the confidence of letting his hands go. He knows how to be defensive and tuck up. Don't switch off. Let them hands go. But it's all speculation because he could have done that if he listened to Virgil Hunter anyway. But I think that's it from us.
Yes.
Like and subscribe.
Like and sub. Comments.
Please leave some comments. Boom. It's all love, baby.
Nice one. That actually come about at the right time because